The San Francisco 49ers might be about to pull off the heist of the playoffs, and you are not going to believe who just became available on the waiver wire right before the biggest game of the year. We are talking about a potential pass rush savior dropping into our laps, plus the absolute shock of how a few nobodies just saved our season against the Eagles. If you bleed red and gold, do me a huge favor right now, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. We are building the strongest 49ers community on YouTube, and I need you with us as we march toward the divisional round. Let's get right into the breaking news because the Houston Texans just made a move that could change everything for San Francisco. Ian Rappaport is reporting that the Texans have officially released pass rusher Darrell Taylor. This is massive. Taylor has been cleared from injured reserve, he is fully healthy, and he is now sitting on waivers waiting to be claimed by a playoff team. Why does this matter? Because we all know the terrifying reality of this defense right now. We finished dead last in the NFL in sacks this season. Dead last. We could barely breathe on Jalen Hurts in the wild card round. And now, suddenly, a 6'4", 267-pound defensive end who has proven sack production is sitting there for free. This feels like destiny. Darrell Taylor isn't just a random body. He was a second-round pick. He had 6.5 sacks in 2021. He had nearly 10 sacks in 2022. He fits exactly what we look for, he has length, he has power, and he has experience in a 4-3 system. And here is the juicy part, he started his career with the Seattle Seahawks. He knows that building. He knows some of that personnel. I know the coaching staff in Seattle has changed, and the scheme isn't exactly the same, but you cannot tell me it wouldn't be sweet to sign a former Seahawk to use as a weapon to knock them out of the playoffs. The Texans released him because they have an embarrassment of riches on their defensive line with Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, so Taylor was the odd man out. But for San Francisco, he wouldn't be a depth piece. He would be an immediate rotation player for a team that is starving for anyone who can get to the quarterback. Here is the question I want you to think about, though, can one waiver wire pickup actually fix a pass rush that has been broken for 18 weeks, or is it too little, too late? Now, we need to talk about what happened in Philadelphia, because I am still buzzing from that win. We just watched one of the weirdest, most incredible defensive performances in franchise history. We went into that game missing Fred Warner. We were missing key starters everywhere. And who stepped up? 3 guys that half the fanbase probably couldn't pick out of a lineup a month ago. We have to start with Eric Kendricks. This guy didn't even sign with the team until late November. He has barely had time to learn the playbook, yet he goes out there and plays 73 snaps like a maniac. He was targeted 5 times in coverage and barely gave up anything. 10 total tackles. 0 missed tackles. And that pass breakup to effectively end the game. That is veteran savvy. We needed a leader in the middle without Warner, and Kendricks was a revelation. Then you have Garrett Wallow. Be honest, did you know who Garrett Wallow was 2 weeks ago? We claimed him off waivers from the Broncos in December. He hasn't started a football game since 2022. And what does he do? He leads the entire team with 11 tackles. He was flying around the field. Between him and Kendricks, they missed 2 tackles combined. In a playoff game. That is the definition of resilience. That is the definition of next man up. And finally, the rookie, Marquez Sigel. The 5th-round pick out of Kansas State. He started the year at safety, got benched, got relegated to special teams, and probably thought his season was over. But when Jair Brown tweaked his hamstring, Sigel got thrown into the fire against a high-powered Eagles offense. And he didn't just survive, he thrived. He posted the 2nd highest grade on the entire defense. He had that massive open field tackle on Devonta Smith that probably saved a touchdown. He led the team in solo tackles. So, here is my question of the day for you guys, and I want to see your answers in the comments down below. Do you actually trust this group, Kendricks, Wallow, and Sigel, to stop Kenneth Walker and the Seahawks' run game this Saturday, or do you think the Eagles' game was just a lucky fluke? Let me know what you think. Speaking of the Seahawks, we have to talk about the schedule because the NFL has absolutely screwed us here. We just played a physical, draining war in Philadelphia. We have to fly all the way back across the country. And now, we have to turn around and play on Saturday. A short week. Meanwhile, Seattle is the #1 seed. They have been sitting on their couches for 2 weeks resting. They are fresh. They are at home. It makes zero sense. The Rams and the Bears play on Sunday, and they both played on Saturday last week. They get normal rest. We get the short stick. It is completely unfair to force a team to travel cross-country and play on a short week against a team coming off a bye. But you know what? Fine. Add it to the list. They doubt the defense. We step up. They give us a bad schedule. We show up. This matchup is going to be insane. Seattle has only scored 26 points combined in our 2 matchups this year. Robert Saleh's defense, despite all the injuries and the lack of sacks, has owned this Seahawks offense. It is hard to beat a team 3 times in a season, but it's even harder to beat a team in back-to-back games like Seattle has to do now. The pressure is actually on them. They are the ones who are supposed to win. We are the underdogs again. We are 7-point dogs going into Lumen Field. And I absolutely love it. We have the momentum. We have the unlikeliest heroes emerging at the perfect time. And if we can snag Darrell Taylor off waivers to give us just a little bit of juice off the edge, we are going to shock the world on Saturday night. I'm going to have a full, deep dive preview of the Seahawks matchups coming later this week, so make sure you are locked in. Do not forget to subscribe. We are building something special here, and I don't want you to miss a second of this playoff run. Let's go get this win. They have us listed as 7-point underdogs going into Lumen Field, and quite frankly, that is exactly where we want to be. The pressure is all on Seattle to defend their home turf, while we are coming in hungry with absolutely nothing to lose. We have the momentum, we have these breakout stars emerging out of nowhere, and if the front office pulls the trigger on this waiver claim, this defense becomes a nightmare. I am dropping a massive, deep dive preview of this matchup later in the week that you do not want to miss, so make sure you are locked in. Double check that subscribe button, keep your notifications on, and let's get ready to shock the NFL world again. This run is far from over, let's go get this win.